shout out to LTTV.
Come on, man.
LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. Alright, today's reaction includes this. Alright, so we reacting to Lapeef, Let's Talk. Why women are unable to hold other women accountable. Now, I could have just grabbed any random discussion from Fresh and Fit and watched girls conform to Hive Mind in fears of challenging another woman on the panel. But let's get into Lapeef, Let's Talk, because there's not going to be any excuses of, oh, this is just some random girl that's not used to being on the mic. She's young and uneducated. All these women here are in their mid-30s, educated women. I think Melanies 40. She announced that in this stream. In this stream, we see Melanie attempt to hold Kay accountable after pretty much letting it slide. We're going to see all the clips. Let's get into it.
My thing is, if you are like, I do not find Black women attractive at all, and you're Black, like, I think that you have been indoctrinated with the racist ideologies that are very pervasive within this country. That's all.
Fake news.
So let me ask you a question.
Before I get into that, I found it funny because during the Fresh and Fit saying that they did not date certain women because of the behavior, they got shouted down, and it had nothing to do with the looks. And we had women campaigning for Fresh and Fit to make it about the looks. And they're like, nope, it's the behavior and the treatment. But let's get back into it.
Question,
That's
Kay.
all I'm saying. So
wait. Let me ask you a
That's
question.
fake news. What you're saying is incorrect.
Oh
it's a fallacy. The argument that's not based on fact. It's based on your feelings.
Okay.
It is not a fact
He is right.
that Black men are racist
Okay.
just because they
I
are not
agree.
dating Black women. I'm
What were you about
sorry.
to say?
I
It's
agree.
the same way
Look,
Black women
wait,
who date white men are
One
not.
at a time,
I don't understand.
One at a
I
time.
don't
One at a
understand.
time.
I just
wanna
Black
say this.
women who date
I-
white
okay.
men, are
I-
they?
I-
Do they have
okay.
internalized racism? Are you saying that? Does it
I
go
haven't
both
talked
ways?
all night.
Does it
I
go
wanna
both
say one
ways?
thing.
I just want to
Melanie,
know.
I'm not like-
What y'all gotta say?
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I see you with the shoulder. Hit it with the shoulder, bro. Yeah. All right.
Melanie,
All right,
I'm
y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, real talk. One at a time, y'all. One at a time. Hey, hold One on. at a time. Hey, I've been quiet. You've been talking the whole time. So look, I want to say Miss
Logic,
Melody.
is it possible?
Yeah, I got you next. Hold on, Kayla. Miss Melody. This is what we need in the. This is what we need in the Black community. This is what I was saying to you earlier. No matter woman or not, we should all hold each other accountable. I thank you. I need your cash app because I'm finna do the no. I know you finna say I'm finna do the Michael Jackson on your cash app. Let me see them.
Whoa, I got it. All right, but you see the reception that women get from men when they hold other women accountable. We'll see that throughout this clip with Melanie getting showered with praise from the men for at least attempting to hold Kay accountable. After she didn't, she tried to let it slide, and then they were holding her accountable for not holding her accountable, for holding Kay accountable. But we're gonna get into all of that.
I need your cash app because I'm finna do the no. I know you finna say I'm finna do the Michael Jackson on your cash app. Let me see them titties, not your titties, but the song. Let me see them titties.
Off the screen.
Okay. I just think that
You think what?
It's the over talking. It's the keep going on. At some point in time, somebody has to make the sacrifice to roll back a little bit.
Okay, so why does it always have to be me?
It's not never you. That's the thing. So when you start doing a step back a little bit, then I think you might start seeing a difference. But I don't think you see the difference.
JR, I'm not even gonna say anything because
sometimes you just gotta agree to disagree. I think we can move on.
No. Agree to disagree is some bullshit. Look, she's wrong.
Okay, so at this moment, this is when Melanie said that she was trying to hold Kay accountable by saying agree to disagree so they can move it along. Because Lapeef had to stop it because they were having circular conversation because she would refuse to admit or concede defeat or whatever it is. She's wrong. Move on. Or you're beating a dead horse. Move on. Or there's also problems with the not even or, and. She interrupts a lot, and whenever someone's trying to make a point, it's like she's scared of what's going to be said, or the words may hurt, so she overtalks and does not allow the person to make the point. So that's been happening a lot on the show, and they're trying to address it. Go back a little bit.
Sometimes you just gotta agree to disagree. I think we can move on.
No. Agree to disagree is some bullshit. Look, she's wrong. Call it.
No. I get that, but you can't. You're not gonna. Kay is on her position, and that's where she's gonna be. And
but she's
allowed to be that. And
there's nothing that you can do.
And there's nothing. We're not going to argue.
What are you going to do?
Hold any of the other women accountable.
We're going to keep talking in circles, or are we going to move on?
Right.
No, we're not just going to move on. And this ain't how we do it.
Well, y'all keep talking in circles.
And this is the perfect example. And this is the beautiful thing about it, because we can go down these rabbit holes and have real conversations.
But
that's
we got
the
off of
dopeness
the
of this
topic.
show.
I just want to return back to the topic that you actually asked. That was more interesting than kind of the back and forth who's over talking who.
At this point, they kind of all got mad at Melanie for not holding Kay accountable, and then Kayla tries to bring up this incident back. She tries to bring this up later on in the discussion, but she understood at that point that there was no defeating Kay. There was no defeating or letting people know that they're wrong. It was simply let's move on, because she understood the impending argument that's about to take place. She understood that she couldn't really do anything, but they're just the men are like, okay, but we have to hold her accountable. We have to be able to do this to move on. And this is the hard-headedness of some women. I'm not going to call out Kay and go directly in on Kay, but this is more about the discussion of women unable to hold other women accountable because they're scared of other women. And it's not the fact, I'm not going to say that directly that Melanie's scared of Kay, but nobody wants that smoke, and they know that it's going to end up in circular talk and nothing's going to move forward. So she kind of understood that before it actually took place.
Let's just reset the button. Let's just push the reset, and
or we can
re-ask your question, and then that way we can continue that conversation.
See how Melanie was being very respectful. And
but it's still no. Because the point of the matter is that, and this is the perfect example of illustrating that women refuse, no matter what, under any circumstance, to hold other women accountable. And this is why they find themselves in a position that they find themselves in every single day.
Big fact.
How did I not hold anyone accountable? I just said, why don't we just move on from the topic? That is a form of accountability. That is a form of accountability.
It's not just you.
I'm gonna say this. I don't choose to hold no grown man or grown women accountable, especially if they're stuck in their ways. It's a waste of energy and breath. And I've said this plenty of times. It doesn't make sense for me.
Cool.
Like they're not just friends and Selenium is who I hold accountable.
And I gotta be honest. I just don't like arguing. I've like I said, I've told everybody I'm 40 years old. I'm at a place in life where, unless it's really, really important to me, like it's a core value, belief, or my life is on the line, I just don't have the energy to argue. So sometimes it's not that we don't want to hold someone accountable, but you have to understand your audience. You have to understand sometimes if you you headbutt a person, they're just going to headbutt you back.
But
Not everyone,
but you definitely
but
argue with Mr. Logic.
Hold on, y'all. Let her finish, y'all. Let her finish.
No, this is a quick question.
Hold on. Let her finish first. Let her finish. Go ahead, Melanie.
That's so casual.
But what I mean is that people have different personalities. People have different, styles and way they talk. Some people are more stubborn. Some people are more easygoing. Like, this gets deep into psychology. So you can't just say general. I was actually going to answer your original question and agree with you with what you said, but it kind of got lost. And I think that was a better conversation to have, because this can go on infinitum, because it involves feelings and it involves emotions. Honestly, the conversation got too emotional for me. And I just wanted to state of facts and actual reasoning, opinions, and kind of dialogue and debate. That was just was getting very emotional, and it just was draining. And a lot of us are dealing with a lot in our real lives. We just don't have the emotions to give to a topic like this that we're not that interested in.
Hey, Melanie, isn't the purpose of your videos? I see a lot of your videos. Isn't the purpose of your videos of holding women accountable?
No.
Okay, so now if I can show you videos that you got specifically saying holding women accountable, you're quoting Kevin Samuels. I didn't see this. So now you have an opportune time to hold a woman accountable that you see right now that's been a distraction to the conversation, and you fail to do that. So now look,
I thought I did, because I guess maybe I think what the difference is that maybe the style of how I did it, maybe you have an expectation that I'm going to go in on her or start cussing her out or like shut the F and raise my voice.
You ain't said nothing to her.
I just said, but that's when
you ain't said, excuse me, honey. You ain't said, we didn't expect you to dive in and do the WWF on her, but you ain't said nothing. Nothing. You ain't said one word.
Yeah, she don't have to curse you out.
Talking about, you ain't said none of that. Nothing.
I mean, okay, so let's just be honest. I mean, some of us have talked to them about their tone, and just, you can say what you want to say, just don't cut them off. Why am I going to repeat it 10 times? Like, y'all are trying to change these women, and like, men or women, we shouldn't be changing them if they're showing us them. Like, I don't get that.
The problem is the conversation never progresses, and you have circle talk, and you are on a platform for entertainment and furthering the discussion. And if the discussion could never get furthered because somebody always has to speak over somebody doesn't let a point get landed because they're speaking over them and interjecting at all times, they refuse to accept when the other person is right or acknowledge that they're right and move on, then none of these conversations could progress. And at this point, it seemed like they just needed to address that so they can actually move forward and have decent dialogue.
Like, we should just, as I said, I'm not going to waste my breath over the same thing over and over. I've already brought up. Like, I don't think we should, as women.
You know what the beauty of that is now? Mm-hmm. Now, we don't want to hear no more complaining about women, about how black men ain't protecting them. We don't want to hear no more complaining about women as far as men not coming to the table. Why is men feeling like this? Why don't men want to let women in their spaces to have these conversations? Because when y'all get up here, y'all be capping. And I'm not saying you specifically, Q, but I'm talking about women in general. This is the prime example of what we illustrating. Okay, cool. We gonna take this exactly how it is. However it play out is how it play out. No more complaining. No more running in the victim Olympics. No more whining about it. No more complaining about how men are treating women. Black men don't protect black women. We don't want to hear none of that shit no more. Cool. Let's play it out exactly how it's going to play out. Since we all came to an understanding that it don't fucking mean anything anymore, let's let the conversation play out how it's going to play out.
We all came to an understanding where you made us.
I'm with it.
This has always been. So we're an older man.
All right, so I made a cut into the episode. These are 6-hour streams, so I had to make some cuts. At this point, I believe it gets contentious between Kay and Rilla after Anton said, let it play out. Let's see what happens. So let's get into it.
could get a younger woman, because women aren't just attracted to money, which we know women are. Women are all also in some way attracted to prestige, and power, but those are two separate things. But prestige, let's say, especially if she had a certain type of upbringing where she really didn't have direction, or a stable household, or whatever was going on, and this guy, look at pimping. Most pimps are broke. Most pimps don't really have a ton of money. It's just a bunch of nonsense if you look at the data. So they're broke dudes and dusties, and the ultimate dusties, and they're tricking out women to make money. And it's not that he's, women look up to him with prestige, because he can talk a certain way, he can calm her emotions. Because women also look for in a man, I think, like a rock, like a man that they feel like they can depend on and trust, especially if she's had a lot of hurt and things like that. So we can be attracted to those types of things. So, and that we see in a man, and especially an older man who's lived life much longer than us, and it just feels stable. He feels steady. He feels caring most times. So I would say, yeah, it really is correct. I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, we could say the vice versa, but if we're talking about statistically, the percentage wise, it's for sure.
Hold on, Miss Melanie. You can't be disrespecting the ism now. You can't be disrespecting the pimping now.
No, I'm not. No, I don't.
Up in here, Miss Melanie.
Like the pimps at the Players Ball and things like that, those are like the high rolling pimps, the ones who got money to spend. But if you think about like the nickel and dime kind of meth kind of pimping, like
the Players, Max, and Hustlers. I know what you're talking
right,
about. Okay.
You know how it is,
Okay, I understand.
Not perpetuate this positive narrative about
my God. Like, hey, it's a moment of levity. Okay.
No, Chicago. These are things that are actually plaguing our communities. And
but actually, Kay,
hold on. Kay.
Can I just say this?
Hold on, brother. Let Melanie go.
What?
She said pimps are plaguing our communities. What? What community is she in where pimps are plaguing communities? If we're gonna talk about sex trafficking, that's a whole different thing. We're gonna stay away from that one. I should have probably never even said that for monetization purposes, but
hold on, y'all, let Melanie go.
Not where it's at. It's not.
So, okay, the only thing I was gonna say is, if you want to take feminism as it is today, that there are some women choosing, they're not being victimized by a pimp, but they're choosing that lifestyle because of sexual freedom. So therefore, I don't want to take it like all the pimping situations right now. Like if we're going to take a stance where women are choosing what to do with their body. Now, I understand trafficking, all that stuff is bad, but there are women who are choosing a certain lifestyle because of sexual freedom. So
that's facts.
And if they feel like that man can be like a bodyguard or help them manage their money or whatever it is that he's doing, aka a pimp. So that's what I would say about that.
Wait a minute, hold on. I just want to get back to this police.
A lot of modern day pimping is OnlyFans. Pimping is a dying thing.
Moment that Kay was having. Kay, are you saying pimps are plaguing our community? And because I was having a light moment with Miss Melanie, that
I don't think pimping should be a light moment. Maybe you do. I don't.
I actually do. And
you're supposed to make jokes of dark things.
Wait, hold on. I want you to answer the question, Kay. I want you to answer. You get through bumping.
It's not. And you are too old to be thinking that pimping is cool.
Hey, who are you talking to tonight?
I'm talking to you.
You can't be talking.
All right, so this is where the disrespect starts happening because she starts calling him too old many times. Like, Rilla hasn't disclosed his age on this platform, but she's using a shaming tactic. You're too old. You're too old. He was making a joke. Jokes are generally rooted in a dark place. Well, not generally, but a lot of the times.
Talking to me, Kay. I'm not going to do this with you today. Too bumping.
It's not. And you are too old to be thinking that pimping is cool.
Hey, who are you talking to tonight?
I'm talking to you.
You can't be talking to me, Kay. I'm not going to do this with you tonight. I'm definitely not going to do this. So whatever you own, I need you to settle that. Like ASAP. Because I'm not gonna do this with you tonight, Kay.
Oh, okay.
We ain't on that type of time tonight, Kay.
The fact that
Like,
people
straight up. So I asked you a
conversation
question outright.
with
I
all
asked
the
you a
stuff that's
question.
going
One
on.
at a time, y'all. Hey,
I asked you
somebody
an
got to
outright
sacrifice.
question.
One at a time, y'all.
I asked you an outright question, and I'll fall back. Okay, you didn't get the joke. It didn't land with you. Cool. You entitled to that. I'm not skewering you for that. Okay, I ain't doing nothing no different than what I do on any other show when I talk about pimping. Are pimps plaguing our community? You said pimps are plaguing our community in 2022.
One of the things, absolutely.
No. It's a yes or no. Pimps are plaguing our communities in 2022. Yes or no?
Yes, there are plenty of pimps. Look it up.
Stop it.
There are
Get some
plenty
help.
of pimps.
Listen, how about this? Since you already got the data, you send it to me. Because I can see with the observable eye that what you're saying off top.
But my thing in Chicago, how can you be this?
Kay,
I don't know how old you are.
relax, Kay. I'm not doing this with
but
you
I'm
tonight,
34, and I know
Kay,
that at this age, and
I'm not doing this with you tonight.
You shouldn't
And listen,
be out here.
all that shaming language, all that shaming.
One at a
all
time,
that
y'all. One at
language,
a time. They can't hear us. One at a time.
You should not be glorifying pimping. In fact,
I hear you,
about this
JR,
on
but I ain't gonna let her
occasion.
do all this.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on today.
Yeah.
She's talking about glorifying pimping. He made a simple joke and mentioned that it was a joke. So if you can't stick within the context, that's probably a problem for yourself at that point.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
You need to figure out. She needs to figure out what's up with her.
The hell happened to the sound?
JR, but I ain't gonna let her do all this.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on today.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
You need to figure out. She needs to figure out what's up with her.
Hey.
You are talking.
You need to figure out. Okay, listen, hold on. I got one mama. Her name is not KA. So I don't know who you think you coming in trying to tell what they need to be. You too old to be doing this. No, fam. You too old to be sitting up here acting like you might
about how pimping is a good thing.
Hey, who is you? Now you the moral police? Who said pimping is a good thing? You ain't have no problem now, Mother Show, when I make references to pimping.
I
now
have always had a problem with it.
You disappear off screen, come back in the middle of the conversation. Now you got an issue.
Okay,
whatever is going on with you tonight, listen.
I have always had a problem
whoever ruffled your feather,
and my apologies, Melanie. I know it's,
you need to figure that out. Don't bring that over here.
All right, y'all. Hey, family.
Don't bring that over here. I'm just telling you.
Family. Hey.
You're too old.
Okay.
Is cool.
Yeah, when you get to doing all that.
Hey, family.
Not tonight.
Family.
JR.
Q, I think we need a prayer.
Look at you.
JR, real talk.
Everybody bow their heads. Everybody bow their heads.
And to our Father, to the pimps and the pimps.
No. We need a real prayer. The topic is, if your preference is not of your skin color, is that a form of self-hate? The context behind this, so you have a black man that says he only dates white women. You have a black woman that says they only date white men. If your preference is not of your skin color, is that a form of self-hate? Start with you, Logic.
I don't think it's a form of self-hate. I think it's a form when you break your tribe. A lot of black men, especially, we don't understand what it is to break our tribe until we gain resources. But me, myself.
So my understanding of what he's saying is that he doesn't think it's self-hate if you're dating outside of the race, but once you have kids with someone outside of the race, then you're breaking tribe.
From my personal perspective, and this is me personally, I would say it's self-hate, because I would look at it and say a man that chooses not to reproduce with himself is something wrong. That when I say self-hate, he hated something that was dealing with his tribe. That's why he chose to go to another tribe. So not necessarily that this man hated self. He hated something about the tribe that he was associated with. So if he was associated with a black tribe, it was certain activities he hated with the women within that tribe that made him move outside that tribe. So That's my topic. That's how I look at it.
Now, I think that is certainly possible, but if somebody's just dating outside of the race, they fall in love with the girl is the perfect girl for their system, and she's outside of the race, they may not have hated anything at all with their race. They may have dated inside of the race and just found a girl that was perfect for them. So there's many possibilities when it comes to this subject.
All right. Anton, coming to you, sir. What are your thoughts about that? If your preference is not of your skin color, is that a form of self-hate?
I don't think so. I don't think I think that everybody got preferences. And I don't see anything wrong with preferences. As a matter of fact, the thing that I think is the real hate is the people that have something to say about the fact that you got preferences and you don't even want to date the, a specific look of a person. You know what I'm saying? You might not want a chick that is a black chick. I mean, if we just gonna keep it 100, you might not have an interest in that, right? My nephews has been raised in an environment where very few black women are out here, and so their preference is to date based off of proximity and the thing that they've been used to their entire lifetime, which is, white girls. That's what they surrounded by. Those are the ones that jock them the most. They be all on their tip. They be chasing them down and all of this other type of stuff. And so that's their preference. Me personally, I like dark, black women. The darker the better for me. Like, my chick, the one that I married, is a dark woman, a dark black woman. And so that's my preference. I like tall, dark black women. And so that's my thing. I want them to look like Amazonians, preferably.
He can say that and nobody's going to get mad, but preferences are exclusionary. They're exclusionary. When I sit up here and I say I prefer black women, dark-skinned women in particular, everybody else is left out of that. So when they say, "Oh, you're saying something, you don't have a preference," you're saying you have an aversion to a certain people. All preferences are exclusionary. A girl says she likes someone 6'2", everyone under 6'2" is excluded.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that get me going. But I don't think that that's a form of self-hate at all. I think that that's a matter of preference. And I think that it actually is perpetuated against men more than it is women. When I was growing up, I used to hear all the time that when a black guy get money, then he switch up and he stop dating black women. And I think that that's the thing that I've always heard perpetuated. And it kind of speaks to Logic's point or perspective as far as, exposure and things like that. But I don't think that that's self-hate at all. I think that that's just, I don't have any problem with anybody having preferences. I just have a problem with people dissing an entire group of people based off of their own preference. If I don't like, black women, I'm not going to call all black women trash. I think that it's some trash in any heap.
Yes, but that's ridiculous when people say that.
Come on, man.
You can't possibly say all. You don't know all. You haven't dated all. People got to stop using the all. It's their experiences. If they have experiences with, if most of their experiences with black women were that, you can't shout them down and not allow them to speak on their experiences because you're scared of a stereotype. People should stop fitting the stereotype then.
But I don't think that.
And it's ridiculous because I stood up here and defended that. And it's like the people that came at me were single as they were single as fuck. They weren't dating no black women that they're taking up for. Speaking and coming at a man who's dating a black woman. Anton Daniels is also dating a black woman, or married to a black woman. I mean, fuck up my verbiage right now. Your stances are a little different. When Alex Media came at Fresh and Fit, Alex Media dates exclusively white women. It made no sense. He was talking, I was looking at him like, nigga.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
That has anything to do with the entirety of the women itself.
Hey, can I just ask something? Well, I want to ask Anton a question. Do you think that it's based on general attributes that they see that's better, not the skin tone. They find general attributes that's better outside of their normal tribe that's attractive.
Yeah, I think so. Like, for example, I think one of the things that I think Kay said it in the earlier show, and hair texture, for example, or hair length. I give you that part.
He was talking about personality.
Some guys
traits.
prefer women with most guys that I know prefer women with longer hair.
Yep.
And so I think that, you know,
or attitude.
Right. That's true.
Attitude is a big attribute.
Well, yeah, I was just going based off of physical.
Why are these men chasing these women that are not black? And it comes back to what is the attitude perception towards these men from African American women?
What is the attitude perception towards these men from the African American women? That's the major reason why niggas like Odell Beckham and other black men are taking. All right, so I brought me from the past, so I had some like bookmarks so I can remember what the fuck I needed to say during these parts. Let me fast forward this since I'm actually here. We don't need me. Make this a little more. It's like Shanique was.
Bitch, you have to.
Yeah. A lot of it's the behavior. When they talk about black men that were dating black women before they got a certain amount of money, and then they got a certain amount of money and they took their talents outside of the race, a lot of the times it's because the women weren't treating them well. The women didn't make that adjustment into their social standard now or their financial standard. What the fuck am I trying to say? Shit.
Come on, man.
Let's get back into it.
Ask the black man why he maybe doesn't want that. You're just assuming it's based on racism.
I just wanted
it
to
could be you can have an experience with a group of women, and I will say across the board, as I've talked to men and black men in particular, it's not that they hate black women. They love black women. They want a black woman. That's usually a black man's first.
It is definitely usually a black man's first choice, but when they make a certain amount of money, they demand a certain level of standard and behavior for their woman. And if they can't find it in their race, they're going to find it elsewhere. They're not going to stay single and just be weeding through all of the black women failing constantly if they can't find it. If they can't find it, they can't find it. Of course, we're not saying all black women. We're not even saying most. We're just saying people have these experiences.
Choice, but usually he can't find the black woman who is fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative. It's all this pushback, you know, and it's always the need to be right. And if we're honest, we can be argumentative. We can tell it like it is. But no, Kay, you've been dominating the conversation tonight. And I think some of us want to talk. It's like you're having a conversation with yourself.
Melanie, I see you're trying to
over and over. I'm not. I'm just
and
like,
you're going to have to
I'm
backtrack on that logic.
You argue back just to be right. And you're not really saying anything new.
Okay.
You're just arguing for the sake of it, but you're not presenting anything new or factual.
Everyone
and you're just assuming that black men are racist when they're not.
All right, so if y'all were here earlier, now you can see why it reached to that point where she had to try to hold her accountable, because she's seen what everybody else was seeing. The fact that you're not adding anything new to the conversation. You just want to dominate the speech when you want to dominate it. No one else can get a word in. This has been a problem that was, you know, persisting earlier, that they didn't want to deal with. They didn't want to hold her accountable. And because they didn't want to hold her accountable, they had to deal with what everybody else had to deal with, this problem. Pull this back a little bit.
With yourself.
Melanie, I see you're trying
over and over. I'm not. I'm just
and
like,
you're going to have to
I'm
backtrack on that logic.
You argue back just to be right, and you're not really saying anything new.
Okay.
You're just arguing for the sake of it, but you're not presenting anything new or factual, and you're just assuming that black men are racist when they're not. Black men are not racist because they date outside their race.
Racist.
You just assume that it's internalized racism.
I didn't say they were racist.
You said, isn't that internalized racism? Isn't that a form of racism, or am I wrong?
She did say that.
You're wrong.
I'm not trying to
But
go
Anton,
at you
what
and
you were
argue with
saying-
you.
Y'all heard her say
but
that.
literally, you have dominated this panel, and we get it. Okay, we got your point. I think everyone knows where you stand.
Melanie.
You don't have to
This is
say
your
it
first
over and
time
over.
here. This
Can
is
other
your
people
first
talk?
time.
Kay has
You're
been
the
quiet.
newcomer.
Q has been quiet while you keep going back and forth. And I don't like what's the narrative that you're putting out there about black men.
Oh my goodness,
Because unless
Melanie,
you've talked to them and
Melanie,
studied them
this is-
and
come
actually
on.
had one-on-ones, you don't know
Melanie,
what you're talking about.
You're trying to redeem yourself, and I get it.
Yes, I need to redeem myself because it's middle school, and I want the captain of the football team to pick me. Listen, I'm a grown.
Do you see that? Do you hear that though? She's trying to correct her past behavior because she left her unaccountable earlier in the stream. She's like, fuck it, we can't we can't drill it into her, agree to disagree. That was her form of accountability. Now she got it. Now she understands that she has to take the next step and actually hold her accountable. And when she's trying to hold her accountable, what is she saying?
You're trying to redeem yourself, and I get it.
Yes, I need to redeem myself because it's middle school, and I want the captain of the football team to pick me. Listen, I'm a grown. I don't need validation from the internet.
So
Trust me, I'm not new to the game, so don't talk down on me with your shaming language. I don't need your shaming language. You can back down, put your whiskers away, put your tail away. We get it. I know. Can't nobody tell you nothing. But we have all been quiet and let you go on and on, and you cannot stand to not hear your own voice for 1 minute.
I was talking to
and it's overbearing. It's overbearing. And what you just said about black men is unfair. Because let me tell you something. You know why? You know why I take exception to that? Because I have a black father who has gone to hell and back to support me from my childhood. This man is 72. Recently, his cancer just came back. And I went through the hardest time in my life. And that man, my mother is disabled. My father has cancer. And I'm not trying to redeem myself. This is not a popularity contest. If you don't like me, c'est la vie, Godspeed and God bless. I don't give a damn. But I'm gonna tell you what, I am tired of black men being put down and said who they are when every black man in my family is a good man. No, they're a great man. And particularly my father, when I went through the hardest time in my life.
All right. Now, to be fair, I fully understand what Melanies trying to do here. I fully understand her sentiments. As much as I agree with her, you can't personalize it to make the argument, because when people talk about their experience with black women, a woman could just sit up there or a man could sit up there and say, well, the women in my family are all great. My mother's great. My sister's great. My wife's great. All that stuff. But it's like that kind of skews it away. That's why I didn't have that stance when Fresh and Fit were telling their personal experiences about black women, because my mother's great. Love my mother. My girlfriend's great. Love my girlfriend. My sister's great. Love my sister. They're all they're not anything of what is described as by the stereotypical or the things that they hate being said about black women. They're not that. But I'm still going to stand here and stand on principle. I'm not going to personalize it. So I'm not really going for that one. But I understand what she's saying here. She's defending black men. We get it.
As I'm going through now, he got my elderly mother, he got my disabled mother, and him still with cancer. They moved down here to be with me and to take care of me. My father said, I don't care what else I got going on. He's calling his cancer doctor to find out, can he have surgery down here? Because he don't want to leave me when I'm down bad. I got uncles that took care of me.
Yes.
So when you tell me I'm here because I want to redeem myself, no, I am sick of the one-sided narrative about black men. Now, if you want to talk statistically about all men, black men have been improving more than any other group in this country.
Oh my goodness, Melanie.
I'm sorry. Listen, don't give me the shaming. Oh, I'm sorry. You're just so emotional. Yes, I am. Because that's what women should be. When something hits,
I didn't call you emotional
all night. Everything is about you. You got to be the star of the show. We get it. I'm a bow out. You got it now.
I didn't call you emotional.
Out. Go ahead. Let's listen to a diatribe for another 10 minutes.
Perfect. I didn't call you emotional, Melanie. What in the world are you talking about? I was actually having a regular conversation with Anton, as we do every week. And you came in because you probably saw the comments talking about she's a chameleon. So you're like, I got to hold someone accountable. Kay is the number one enemy. Let's do it. I get it. I've been here before. People do this. I mean, I've seen it happen multiple times. It's fine.
Everyone on the panel immediately stopped laughing. That's facts, because she was going into a very serious story and it's very contentious. So all that, the little pity shit that they were doing, the little fun, just not pity, petty shit that they were doing, the funny faces and shit, that shit stopped real quick.
I still think you're a great woman. I thank you for sharing your story with us. I'm not mad at you at all. But I was talking.
You don't even hear yourself. You don't hear your tone. You are so condescending in tone, and you think it's just normal conversational tone, and that's what's scary. And this is why when a lot of times, you know, if somebody has had experiences, if we get back to the question and not your lesson to me, but if we get back to the question about when it went into the direction of Black men, it was talking about all people at first. But if we get back to it and to say that it's internalized racism, for some people it is, but it is not the vast majority. Most people are open to people. Most Black men want to marry Black women. They want to be with Black women. What they're finding difficult right now is if you ask Black men. Are you asking Black men? Or are you just assuming?
Okay,
but Melanie, if they tell the truth, Melanie, it's just so you believe that they're lying. They don't have a reason to lie. If they're not dating Black women, what do they care what Black women think?
That's really hard for no reason.
Okay, I know. When you have no argument, you're gonna attack. You're gonna attack my style, and you're gonna come some other way because you have no facts and logic. You have no facts and logic. You just want to argue from an emotional place. I know, shame me. I know. I just want to be liked so much. I need so much validation. You're right. I can't get it no way but to come on this show and argue with you. You are that special. You're that special, Kay. I can't get nobody to pay attention to me unless I come on this show and take you down.
Are you okay?
No, I'm just tired of your voice.
I was
over and over
talking to Anton.
You're talking to everyone. It's a one-sided conversation with you. And you're not saying anything new. If you were actually spitting facts or actually had something new to say, it's just over and over until you browbeat a person into agreeing with you, but they never.
Yo, right now she is absolutely barring Kay down. I'm gonna have to pull this back a good 10 seconds. Sorry, y'all.
And you're not saying anything new. If you were actually spitting.
I'm really not sorry, y'all.
We're in a different era. Get over it. Whoa!
Facts or actually had something new to say, it's just over and over until you browbeat a person into agreeing with you, but they never do.
You're the winner.
So you got to know when to let it go, like I'm going to do now.
Good job, Melanie. Perfect.
Miss Melanie, what is your cash app?
Anton.
No, I totally agree. Hey, Miss Melanie. Hold on, wait.
Do you see the reception from the men? So you all know unanimously, these niggas all agree with everything that Melanie was saying. She was barring her down. Sometimes Kay is insufferable and it really doesn't further the conversation.
I mean, Chicago. Anton, what I was saying though.
Listen, y'all, I ain't trying to hate on their show. They have a good show. They got a good platform going on. But you got to keep it real on what's going on. You see it, you got to keep it a bean. You got to call it how it is.
Because a lot of what Melanie was saying, I agree with. I do not think that all men, I don't think all Black men are in that situation.
You see how she deflects from the shit that she says? I don't think that all men, all Black men, no one ever said that. No one can say that. And that's not what you were saying, but you were saying Black men are self-hating, racist when they don't date within their race.
Because a lot of what Melanie was saying, I agree with. I do not think that all men. I don't think all black.
It's crazy that she can say everything she says she agrees with, or mostly everything she says when she agrees with, when she was cutting her off, interjecting, trying to stop her from saying it, and disagreeing while it was going on.
Black men are in that situation of self-hate and whatnot, as I specified earlier on multiple occasions when I mentioned.
Okay, you try to backtrack now. You try to backtrack.
Watch your tone.
Hold on, y'all. Simmer down, family. Simmer down.
So when I was talking to Anton earlier, I said it, I think twice, that I get it if you grow up a certain place and whatnot, you know?
Where are Kay's girls coming to her defense? They probably agree with the men and they don't want to say anything. But if they come for Kay, or if they come for the defense, I don't know. I know that Kayla definitely agrees with some of the stuff that Kay says because she reinforces that a little later in this. Let's get into it.
If you have a preference or if that's who you're around, I said that. And if you, but my thing is, if you are like, I do not find black women attractive at all, and you're black, like, I think that you have been indoctrinated with the racist ideologies that are very pervasive within this country. That's all
Fake
I'm saying.
news.
So let me ask you a question, Kay.
That's all I'm saying. So
wait.
Go ahead.
Let me ask. Wait. Let me ask you a
That's
question.
fake news. What you're saying is incorrect.
Oh
it's
my
a
goodness.
fallacy
Let
in your
Anton
argument
talk.
that's not based on fact. It's based on your feelings.
Okay.
It is not a fact
He is right.
that black
He is
men are
right, Kay.
racist
Okay.
just because
Anton, what were
they
you
are not
agree.
dating black women. I'm
What were you about
sorry.
to say?
I
It's
agree.
the same way
Look,
black
hey,
women
miss, hey,
refuse
wait,
to date white men
Hold on.
are
One
not.
at a time.
I don't understand.
One at a
I
time.
don't
One at a
understand.
time.
Are
I
there
wanna say
black
this.
women who date white men? Are
I
they?
don't-
Do they have
okay.
internalized racism? Are you saying that does it
I
go
haven't
both
talked
ways?
all night.
Hold on.
Does it
I
go
want to
both
say one
ways?
thing.
I just want to
Melanie,
know.
I'm not like,
What y'all
All
got
right,
to say?
come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. I see you with the shoulder.
her
Hit it with the
favorite.
shoulders, brother. Yeah. All right,
Melanie,
y'all.
I'm not
Hey, y'all. Hey, real talk. One at a time, y'all. One at a time.
Hey,
One
hold
at
on.
a
Hold on.
time.
Hey,
So can
I've been
everybody
quiet. You've been
stop?
talking the whole time. So look, I want to say, Miss
Is
Melanie.
it possible?
Yeah, I got you next, Caleb.
Hold on, Kayla. Miss Melanie, this is what we need in the. This is what we need in the black community. This is what I was saying to you earlier. No matter woman or not, we should all hold each other accountable. I thank you. I need your cash app. Cause I'm finna do the no. I know you finna say I'm finna do the Michael Jackson on your cash app. Let me see them titties, not your titties, but the song. Let me see them titties.
What?
We need that. Go ahead, JR. Play them. Let me see them titties.
Hold on.
No, but
Hold
I mean,
on.
she's right though.
Hold on. I want to
Like,
get to Kayla because she hasn't said nothing yet. Go ahead, Kayla.
yeah. Go ahead.
The floor is yours.
Okay. I don't even know where to start because I've been wanting to say stuff and there's not been any space for me tonight and I don't have the energy to try, right? As far as what's transpired the last
I was waiting for one of y'all to say it, yo. I was waiting for one of y'all to say JB tripping.
10 minutes or so. So let's start with Kay and Melanie, right? I see both sides, right? Now, Kay, I get where Melanie's coming from because there are times, long-winded, sometimes when you're explaining things. It's her first time on the show. She's not used, she doesn't know you yet, you feel me?
Next time says too many non-professional speakers on this panel. Hard to listen to. Talking over people. No intelligent points being made. Hard listen. That's pretty much what they were trying to stop. They were trying to stop people from circle talking, speaking, monopolizing the mic without actually making a point. Because I bet they were reviewing some of their shows and they were kind of just like.
Sometimes it may be good. Sometimes it may be shit.
But
understandable.
And then But Melanie, I will also say that you did the same thing. When you came at the beginning of the show, you were going on and on and on for a minute, like Kay has been doing. Maybe not with all, because Kay is dealing with someone that she knows, so that it's more emotional when her and Rilla start getting into it. But when you first got here, you were going on and on and on, like she does sometimes as well. And I also will have to agree with her on the one part that she said that I felt like she said, nope, in terms of you wanting to have a moment, because when Anton was trying to hold you accountable to holding her accountable, you went, oh no, let's just agree to disagree, blah, blah, blah. And then you switched up and started doing that later. I don't know if you, like she said, read the comments or not, because
What are you doing, Kayla? This is what I was talking about, coming to the defense of Kay and trying to rebrand her holding her accountable as trying to make a moment. So a black woman can't hold another woman accountable, because if she does, she's trying to have a moment now. She read the comments, and because she passed on it the first time, because she outlined why she passed on it, and we've seen it come to fruition. She said it. If you guys weren't here earlier, you might have to rewind it. She said why she didn't want to do it and agree to disagree. Then she tried it, and then this happened, and now it's being rewritten as, oh, you're looking for a moment.
I did see a lot of that stuff in the comments, and then
hold on, let me play this
blah,
play
blah,
out.
blah. And then you switched up and started doing that later. I don't know if you, like she said, read the comments or not, because I did see a lot of that stuff in the comments. And then all of a sudden you popped up with new energy. So I see where both of you guys are saying, because Kay, you do have to give other people space when we have such a big panel, which we don't usually have, this many people, but when we do have a big panel, you have to give other people space. And then, Melanie, like I said, I don't know you. So that, per my observation, I've just been sitting here not saying anything this whole show. That is what I observed. Now to the question, right? Because let's get back to the subject if we can, so we can get some callers in here, right? Mm-hmm. So if your preference is not your skin color, is that a form of self-hate? I think that it can be. There is a subsection of people where this can apply. There are people that have internal issues. There are people that we are programmed in this country, especially as of late, as the last 10 years, interracial relationships are a part of marketing and programming. So I can understand why someone would have this preference and it not.
Do you know what type of interracial relationship that we see being marketed in television? It's black woman, white man, not the other way around. That's what's being marketed. And you don't really see nobody crying about it.
Crying to me, and I'm not having it. Necessarily be rooted in self-hate. That's just what they like. That's just what they want. But then there is a subsector where it is. So we can't say that, no, there are no people that this applies, because that's not true. That's not true. There are people that do have self-hate issues and that will not date anyone that even remotely looks close to themselves, which is very strange, right? So I think there's two sides of the coin. There's so many different people out here. So
the one thing I find funny when they say self-hate and they talk about, you know what? I'm gonna let it play out. I'm gonna talk after this.
We can't make this whole blanket statement based on our personal experience, whether all the men in our family are great. That doesn't mean all the men out here are great, or whether, I know someone that does internalize some type of self-hate in their dating profile, where there are people that just don't. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different people out here. So I think in terms of the question, referencing that group of people that does exist, right? The answer would be yes. For everyone else, the answer would be no. And I will yield, because a lot of energy tonight. I don't even know, but go ahead, y'all.
It's okay. Yeah, bring the tub in right now. We need it right now.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Miss Melanie. Listen, man. I need to drop that Cash App or something.
Why you got the scarf over your mouth, Rilla?
I know. Listen. Miss Melanie, first of all, you don't look 40. So congratulations and salute to you. That means a lot of water. and less stress. And I know what it means for you to be able to come in the Lions Den and deal with us on the, you know, on a Thursday. So salute to you.
Ow.
Venmo, Zelle, give you PayPal. You got to give us something, sister.
I'm good. I'm straight financially. I'm not. I can't take that. And
I'm gonna drop the link to your channel in the chat. You good? You good?
I appreciate it. And like I said, you know, it's the.
Once again, we're seeing the compliments, and we're seeing how she's being received for attempting to hold Kay accountable. Just attempting, merely attempting. Kayla has an easier job of communicating with Kay, but doesn't really hold her accountable at most times.
Retirement home over here for me because I got 2 kiddos this week, and so I took.
Something's up with this man today. He needs water. Who we speaking about?
Told JR before I had to bow a little bit early, but I enjoyed this discussion, and I just want to say I don't have any ill will towards Kay. You know, it got heated for me, and I would just I'm sorry, Kayla, and I'll just quickly respond to.
This whole thing is a blanket statement. How can you know it's self-hate when you don't really know that person? You can't really know it's self-hate unless you know the person. Unless you've had conversations with the person and you've peeled back their reasoning and you're like, okay, this is some bullshit. This is some self-hate on an individual base, then you will never really know.
Kay, what she had to say was just like, did I want my moment? I think I've lived a full life.
Why? You were talking about Rilla, weren't you?
I've had moments.
Kayla.
Sorry, respond to Kayla. I apologize.
Okay.
No,
respond to Kay.
Responding to Kay. What she said about when she was kind of given a summary of what she thought about our interaction.
Kayla.
When Kay. I'm sorry. Kayla.
Yeah, my name is Kayla.
Yeah, Kayla. That's what I said. You. Yeah, I'm addressing you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I said. I'm addressing
cool.
Kayla with you and I, Kay. Remember, we kind of got into it, and then she addressed that. So that's what I'm addressing. So it's just weird that I just find it like I've lived a full life. I'm not going into every detail of my life, but let's just say I didn't come on this show because I was looking for a moment to get somebody on YouTube. I'm not sure what service that would provide me or what. I don't even think like that. I'm assuming some people do, but I don't think like that. I don't need this for validation or, you know, I have a purpose in life. I know what God has set me on, and what's for me is for me. And so I don't go for gotcha moments. When you saw me respond more, and this is why I gave context, I talked about my father because I said earlier in the show, the reason why I was trying to shut things down earlier for the earlier topic, it was something I didn't really care about on a deep level. I thought it was discussed enough. It was just getting into argument. And it wasn't really a topic that was, you know, that really reached into me. I think all of us have felt like that in conversations or probably on the panel. You felt like some things hit you more than others. Mm-hmm. So that question hit me more. That's why they gave the context about my father, because I hate generalizations about Black men. And that's where you saw my passion. I'm a passionate person.
I understand.
And right. So it wasn't like a gotcha. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, I just think it's like, what makes you so important?
Yeah, what the fuck is JB Uncle Logic doing? Why is this nigga so close to the goddamn screen? This nigga's probably the only nigga that smokes more backwoods than me. Jesus Christ.
Important that I need to come to you to challenge you to get clout. That to me speaks to more of an elevated estimation of oneself. To say I need to come on here to challenge you to get clout. So it's just a weird. I'm saying, but you can say that, but to even have that thinking, you have to question yourself and say, why do I find myself so important that someone would come on here to challenge me because they need a moment? I think we need to humble ourselves and realize I can't.
Yeah, you see him. He's smoking right now. Next time says, JB not even taking it serious. Why should people care? Your panel doesn't care. They're looking around, looking bored. Come on, people. The problem with this discussion is this was a 6.5 hour stream. When you're sitting up for 6.5 hours, it's hard to look entertained at every moment of it. So I understand that.
JR reached out, and I believe in what you guys are doing. I believe in what's going on here.
And we appreciate
and I had a lot
you here.
I had a lot going on today, and I this was last minute for me, and it was a struggle. I'm going through a lot personally.
No,
you know, I
came
on here because I wanted to contribute to the community and to this conversation. And I just think to assume motive in people, you know, I know, but it is. But
I
to
wasn't
insinuate without having facts.
But
you insinuated without having facts. And instead of asking me, you just assumed. It's the same question about black men. You just assume that they're racist.
Hold tight. We gotta do one at a time, y'all. One at a time.
Well, I'm talking. And,
go ahead.
You know, so I'm about to sign off. So, but I'm just saying, I just don't like when people assign motive to me. And I just think it's a grandiose view of oneself that someone needs to come to me and challenge the queen bee to get clout. That's what it sounds like. And I'm just like, we can't just have discussions, and some people are more passionate about some subjects over others. Why is it just assuming these negative motives?
One at a time.
When they didn't.
One at a time, ma'am. One at a time.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a circular.
What Melanie's talking about right now is the fact that Kayla assigned motive to her holding Kay accountable. She was saying that Kayla was saying to Melanie that what you're doing is trying to have a moment now on this platform because you got called out for not doing it earlier. So that's why you did it now. You're trying to have a moment. When Melanie's saying, no, that's not what I was doing. You shouldn't ascribe a motive to me without actually asking me. You're assuming. That's what she's saying right now.
Conversation.
One at a time, Kay.
I'm not going to move the goalpost. It's a circular conversation, you know, at this point, and it's not really. I'm not going to change any hearts and minds.
Miss Melanie,
and I'm not looking to. So I know who I am, and I'm going to be who I am. So
please come back. We love you.
I'm good.
Please.
Don't follow me. Don't look for me. Cancel me. I'm hoping that happens because that's what I want.
Hey, hold on. I want to say something to Miss Melanie before she leaves.
I didn't get to finish speaking. Like I was waiting for her to finish. I
just want to say,
sorry, Roderick. No.
She's about to sign off. Apparently, she done what you listening to you.
She was speaking to me.
Go ahead. Hey, Miss Melody, before you leave. Okay,
thank you so much, Melody. I appreciate it.
Are you seeing this?
No, I just want to say before she leaves.
Thank you.
Miss Melody, before you leave, can I Miss Melody, before you leave.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say, Logic?
Oh my God. Look, Miss Melody, before you leave, can I say something to you before you leave?
No, you can wait.
Kayla, can he just say something briefly and then you can finish up?
Can he say something briefly I wasn't making any assumptions about your motive or anything like that. I was just giving per my observation.
And this is the problem that they were trying to solve. And no progress has been made because they're speaking over each other. No one is conceding. No one's stepping back and being like, you know what? You can speak. No one's making that sacrifice. The same problem that was happening before continues to persist.
Briefly, and then you can finish up.
Can he say something briefly? I wasn't making any assumptions about your motive or anything like that. I was just giving per my observation for what happened earlier to what happened later. So that's all I was saying. I don't know you. I don't know how you feel. I understand your story and I understand where you're coming from. Trust me, I feel the same way you feel. I don't need validation from the internet. I don't care when people disagree with me. I get where you're coming from a lot. But I was just calling it like I saw in terms of what I saw and what happened earlier when Anton was trying to hold you to have and Logic saying you have this reputation for holding women accountable, but you weren't holding her accountable.
I understood all of that. I
then you decided later
but I didn't deny that that's what you thought. I didn't deny what you thought. That's my observation
because that's what happened.
Okay, I know, but that's called an assumption. You observed and then you made an assumption. That's what that's.
Do you see the difference? Do you see what she's doing? And that drives a lot of people crazy. You are ascribing a motive and saying that's what happened based on your observation. You're assuming the motive. You could try to analyze the situation and think that's why she did something, but to ascribe it and then say it and stamp it and push that narrative, that drives people insane. That drives people crazy. I understand why Melanie's pushing back at that because that shit's fucking annoying. If I didn't say that was my motive, don't put that on me. I understand that.
feel how you feel, then why did you say that
observed
when
me
Anton
and then
and
you
Logic,
started making
when Anton and
assumptions.
Logic
I know, but that's called an assumption. You
that's
observed and then you made an
So
assumption.
if
That's what
you
that's
feel
called.
how you feel, then why did you say that
observed
when
me
Anton
and then you
Logic,
started making
when
assumptions.
Anton and Logic were both pressing you about it? Why did you
what
say
did you
it then?
observe that how do you know for
Okay, so we're gonna go back to that moment. I just want to give people a little bit of insight, but we're gonna finish this conversation now. There's a few minutes left, but we're gonna go back to the moment in question, and we're gonna decide why she did that, why she backed off initially, and why she chose to try to hold her accountable after. We're gonna try to figure that out.
fact, did you observe me writing out an email or a text?
No,
Hey,
I'm
JR,
asking you.
I'm looking for clout tonight, so I want to
Anton
do
and
that.
Logic
You
were both
observed
holding you
fact,
to it.
then
Why
you know.
did you say
You
it
made
then?
an assumption. This is the thing. I don't think you
Why did
understand
you say
basic
it then?
debate. And that's what's difficult for me because I'm more logical in my thinking, and I'm
asking a
it's
specific
very hard
question
to have
about
a debate with people
it's
who don't
not about
understand
logic, it's
logical,
about
critical
the course of
thinking.
events that just took
I kind of
place.
shut down like
Do
a
you
computer.
not want to answer?
I just no, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now
let's take back.
I don't.
I'm asking about what happened. It's not
I-
about logic. It's not about any of that. It's about what happened earlier.
I know.
That was one
I
thing,
know.
and then another
I
thing
know.
happened
I
later.
know.
So
I know.
it looks contradicting. It is contradicting.
Okay. So she heard you. Hey, Kayla, she heard you. So you can drop the weights now.
You've been talking all night, Logic. Go right ahead.
Really? Okay.
ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this for you, Miss Melanie, right?
I don't care.
See, now this is the example that I want to make. So whether you heard what me and Anton said or not, I don't give a rat's ass at
Look
what.
how close he is to the camera.
Hey. What I care about, Miss Melody, is whether it came from us or not, you understood. And then now you held yourself accountable to sit here and say, you know what? That's not right. So now that's more than what I can say for 50% in here right now.
I'm gonna have to play that back because that is what I witnessed. That is what he's saying right now. That's what I witnessed.
You know what? That's not right.
A little bit more.
And then now you held yourself accountable to sit here and say, you know what? That's not right. So now that's more than what I can say for 50% in here right now. You held yourself accountable. So I don't give a fuck how you was before. In the middle, I give.
Kayla said it seems like that's what you did, which is her observation. She has the right to. She didn't say it seems like. She said that's what happened. She ascribed motive. Nice try. You can't pull that shit. You can't ascribe motive. You could say it seems. You can say it seems like that, but that's not what she said. She said that's what happened, and she repeated it twice.
Give a fuck about how you end, and I respect that, and I appreciate that. And you got my respect. I'm gonna be one of them niggas in your chat now. I'm gonna be a chat nigga.
Thank you. I appreciate that though.
No,
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna be a chat nigga. And you got my
thank you, Melanie.
Because I'm all up through there.
I understand this.
Once again, take in how the men are cheerleading when they see one woman attempt to hold another woman accountable, because it is a rarity in today's day and age, and especially on their show.
I understand you saw something and it might have triggered you, but you still had the fortitude to change. And I can respect that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate
it.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, first to your family.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope that everything work out for you and everything that's going on in the background.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Real talk, I sent up a prayer for you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Let you know I'm praying for you. So
I appreciate that.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the discussion. It got heated, but I like debate. So
yeah.
All right.
I already know it's gonna be ugly on the other side.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, see you. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to have to go back to that moment now. we're going to have to go back to that moment. We're going to have to see the moment where she passed on the play where she's like, fuck it. We're going to butt heads. It's not going to get anywhere.
Okay, cool. We going to take this exactly how it is.
So let's just be honest. I mean, some of us have.
I gotta find this shit.
Is it? I guess maybe I think what the difference is that maybe the style of how I did it. Maybe you have an expectation that I'm gonna go in on her or start cussing her out or like shut the f and raise my voice.
You ain't said nothing to her.
I just said, but that's when
you ain't said. Excuse me, honey. You ain't said. We ain't expect you to dive in and do the WWF on her, but you ain't said nothing. Nothing. You ain't said one word.
Yeah, she don't have a choice. You out.
Talking about.
Okay.
All right, I gotta get back to the actual moment.
Reset the button.
Agree to disagree is some bullshit.
Yeah, it's around
Not
here.
your titties, but the song. Let me see them titties.
What?
Off the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, JB Uncle Logic was kind of tripping during this stream.
Man, sit your dumb ass down.
Someone needed to tell him that shit.
Okay. I just think that it's the over talking. It's the keep going on. At some point in time, somebody has to make the sacrifice to roll back a little bit.
Okay, so why does it always have to be me?
It's not never you. That's the thing. So when you start doing a step back a little bit, then I think you might start seeing a difference. But I don't think you see the difference.
JR, I'm not even gonna say anything because
sometimes you just gotta agree to disagree. I think we can move on.
No. Agree to disagree is some bullshit. Look, she's wrong. Call it.
No. I get that, but you can't. You're not gonna. Kay is on her position, and that's where she's gonna be.
But she's wrong.
She's allowed to be that.
There's nothing that you can do.
Do you see how JB's like she's wrong, and they need her to understand when she's wrong? Kayla's like there's nothing that you can do to change her mind. That's why she doesn't attempt to hold her accountable. And Melanie at this point earlier, before she held her accountable, was like she's gonna think her way. You're gonna butt heads. Let me just let it play.
And right, there's nothing. We're not going to argue. Kay is on her position, and that's where she's going to be.
But she's
allowed to be that.
There's nothing that you can do.
And right, there's nothing. We're not going to argue.
What are you going to
hold any of the other women accountable?
Are we going to just keep talking in circles, or are we going to move on?
Right.
No, we're not just going to move on. And this ain't how we do it.
Well, y'all keep talking in circles.
And this is the perfect example. And this is the beautiful thing about it, because we can go down these rabbit holes and have real conversations.
But
that's
we got
the
off
dopeness
of
of
the
this
topic.
show.
I just want to return back to the topic that you actually asked.
And now how you've seen her say, she tried to pass on the play. She's like, okay, agree to disagree. We're going to talk in circles. Nothing is going to get established after I try to hold her accountable. As you guys were witnessing while we were going through that last clip, y'all were saying, where's the comment? It said nothing. Oh yeah, sounds like they haven't made any progress. 6 hours wasted, because by the end of all of this, she was unable to get the message through to her. She was still arguing. She's still seeing it her way, the same way she said this would happen prior to it happening, and that's what happened. And this is why a lot of girls, a lot of women, punt on holding other women accountable. They're like, fuck it. I don't want that headache. I don't want that smoke. It's not going to resolve in anything. It's like a losing battle. But for women that refuse to accept accountability and need to be right, and they don't understand when someone else got it right,
stop it. Get some help.
And with that being said, let me see if I can get a thumbnail pose out of this. I'm gonna use this footage. Actually, fuck it. I'll do that after myself. I'm not gonna do that live on the stream and waste y'all time. All right, we out. We got another stream coming. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If the super chat continues to not work because of the YouTube sabotage, hit the PayPal. But we out. The PayPal's in the description of every video. We out. Yeah.